Very pleased now to be joined here at SB Nation by the one and only, the dashing, the debonair, internationally famous Pro Football Hall of Famer, one of the greatest football players, one of the greatest humans to ever live. It is Thurman Thomas. Mr. Thomas, thank you so much for taking the time to join us.
Absolutely. Thank you for having me.
I want to start. Most important question I'm going to ask.
Yeah.
What's the last round of golf you played and what'd you shoot?
The last round of golf that I played, oh God, let me see. I shot a 92 at the Country Club of Buffalo here with my good friend Paul Lavullo.
Okay, well, I want to congratulate you on saving 4.5 minutes of your life. I don't know. I saw you retweeted a nuclear golf post that every round of golf you play, you extend your life by 4.5 minutes. So, congratulations.
Oh, you see that stuff? Yeah. Yeah, I appreciate that. Yeah, I'm always looking for stuff like that because I send it to my kids and all this.
That's great. I mean, well,
Yeah,
you were also tweeting recently about Scotty Scheffler. I have a lot of football things to get to, but I'm a big
yeah,
golf guy.
yeah.
Obviously wrapped up the BMW Championship. He's had this amazing year. How into golf are you? Like, are you keeping tabs? I mean, you clearly follow nuclear golf. Like that. That in and of itself
Yeah.
suggests how big of a golf guy you are.
Look, I haven't I haven't played in a couple of weeks because I've been busy. I've been in Croatia. I'm getting ready to go to a wedding, so I've been all over the place and haven't played in the last 2 or 3 weeks. And I think it's the best. I think it's the best sport in the world. I really, really do. Wish my parents would have handed me a golf club instead of a football way back when because I watch it all the time. Me and my son watch Tiger Woods highlights all the time because he didn't get to see
Right.
Tiger growing up. But the shot that Scotty hit at 17, that's when I told him, I said, Tiger used to do that every single Sunday.
Yeah.
Every single Sunday. So yeah, I'm all about golf. Yeah.
I know early in Scotty we were like, hey, the Tiger comparisons are ridiculous. They're still ridiculous, but they're a lot less ridiculous than they were at the very beginning, especially like you mentioned the shot he had at 17 on Sunday. That was a very Tiger-like thing.
Yeah.
I think you wound up okay with the fact that your parents, put a football in your hands as opposed to a golf club. Pro Football Hall of Famer, like I mentioned, one of the greatest running backs to ever live. You were giving me a hard time right before we started recording because I do cover the Dallas Cowboys.
Yeah.
But you are, truth be told, one of my all-time favorite players. The 90s were such a special time, and
Yeah.
things went the way they did. But your career
Yeah.
speaks for itself, and you're
Well.
clearly still beloved with Bill's Mafia.
Oh, definitely. I mean, like I said, I've been here 29 of my 59 years here living in Buffalo with my wife of 38 years. And, we've built a couple of businesses here. And this is home for me. Even though I'm from Houston, Texas, and I still have family back there, this is my home. And my family in Houston know that, because they come up and visit, and I need to go down there. But this is home for me. I want to be here when this city does raise the Lombardi Trophy, I want to be here to celebrate with them, with the players, with the fans here, because there's a lot of other organizations that really like probably deserve a Super Bowl champ. I think we're on the top of the list. I think we're on the top of the list for having the four that we lost in a row, and then really what has happened in the last 5 or 6 years with Josh, and we can't get over the hump with Kansas City. Cleveland's not making the playoffs or making it to the Super Bowl, so it has to be the Buffalo Bills, right? And so even though we lost that AFC Championship game to the Kansas City Chiefs this past season, you know what? There were a lot of Kansas City fans that were saying that said to me and my family as we were walking out, like, man, I feel bad for you guys, and and even a couple said, I wish you guys would have made it. I don't know if they were just saying that just to make me feel better, but we've been so close. We've been so close, and if you look at like Josh Allen's numbers over the last 5 years, you would have thought that we have at least been to two Super Bowls because he's been damn near perfect in the playoffs.
It's at some point it reaches a stage where you don't want to be John Stockton and Karl Malone. You don't want to be Charles
Right.
Barkley. Like you don't want to have the misfortune. Like we were talking about Tiger. Like you don't even want to be Phil Mickelson, right? Like it's
Right.
unfortunate to live in a time where this all time player plays. And I agree
Yes.
with you. I do think that if you polled all football fans, that they would say of the teams who don't have one, the Bills definitely deserve it the most. And some of that is the disposition that I think people like you share. The fact that you are this franchise legend, this franchise icon, this Pro Football Hall of Famer, and that you say, you know what, I want to be here because
Yeah.
I believe it will happen, but also because I know what it will mean to everybody. Like with all due respect, I don't think that exists with the Minnesota Vikings or the Los Angeles Chargers. Like the culture is just very different with Buffalo.
Yeah, yeah. No, it is very different, and I really applaud like Sean McDermott and Brandon Beane doing their job and doing their homework. And I know those guys have a lot on their plate or what have you. Like they've been able to really put in a really good culture here with the Buffalo Bills. I mean, how many people you say like Joey Bosa just signed here during the offseason and he said, "Oh my God, these guys hang together. They have fun together." And I'm thinking to myself, wow, they have created a culture kind of like what we had back when Jim Bruce. I mean, we still tight now than we were back then,
Right.
because of certain situations. Jim going through his cancer, and so we become even closer like that. But when I see like when I saw Josh Allen on the sideline before the coin toss, I said hi to um, Terrell Bernard, and then I said hi to Josh Allen, and he was like, "Hey man, love you." And when he said "love you," it just kind of reminded me of what myself and Jim and Bruce. Every time we break away, we always say "love you." And for him to say that, I'm like, damn, boy, I wish I was in that locker room playing with him. I mean, because it's there. It just hasn't happened for us, but everything is in place really for the Bills. I think in the next 4 or 5 years to maybe win one, maybe win two. I have no idea, but for me, I think they have to. I think they have to get the number one seed because they
Yeah.
pretty much unbeatable at home. I mean, they win at home.
It's it's one of those things where I can tell you from a Cowboys perspective, you think like it has to happen this way, and then someday it will happen, but it won't be the way you thought it has to be. We have to, like you said, you have to be the one seed, you have to catch this bad team, or you have to play indoors, or you have to avoid the weather. Like it's
Yeah.
just gonna happen because it's the ride in perfect time.
So,
That's the magic of sports. I love so much that love is a big kind of theme for you and how you continue to love the Bills, and you've obviously done that not just in terms of your residence and in terms of your support. I saw you got asked a
yeah.
million times about the hat you wore on Hard Knocks, which was really funny.
Yeah.
But beyond that, you have actually put in work. The 34 group, and obviously what you're working on right now. I mean, to be blunt, you're putting your money where your mouth is here because this
Yeah.
is something you really care about.
Yeah, it's something. When my wife started this construction company 10 years ago, we didn't know we'd be in this position. There wasn't even talk of the Bills. There was more talk about the Bills moving than they
Right.
were talking about building a new stadium. And you know what? It just so happened that we put together this construction company. And a couple of years later, people started talking about, oh, we might get a new stadium or whatever. And that's when I kind of like gather it all together and be like, well, this could be like life changing, not only
Right.
for the 34 group, but it can also be life changing for other companies and people around the Buffalo area. And so once we got started on the dealings of the project and all the papers signed or whatever, the one thing I do remember about those meetings is that everybody wanted the people and the companies here in Buffalo to get a piece of it.
Mm,
We wanted to work within. We work in to out. And in mean being here in Buffalo. If we have to go to Pennsylvania, we'll go to Pennsylvania and get some people to come here and work. But most of the majority of the work stays right here in Buffalo. So everybody can have a part in saying, Yeah, I built that. Yeah, I put the nails in there. Yeah, I did the drywall over there. I put the lights up over here. I hung the speakers up. We wanted those jobs to be right here in the city of Buffalo with people from Buffalo, and it's worked out tremendously for us.
That's amazing. In today's day and age, it's difficult for things to not get overly commercialized or
Right,
merchandised. I think to stick with golf, like something like the Masters, like just couldn't exist nowadays. Like that's why
right.
it is so special. So
Yeah.
tell me about Carhartt and 34 Group and how the intersection happened here.
Well, I mean, they called us a couple of months ago, maybe about 4 or 5 months ago, and our CEO Ron Giuliano, I guess someone they saw a picture of him, and he was wearing Carhartt, right? And so they got in touch with him and say, "Oh, we want to make this piece about the film, about the stadium, and the people building it." Well, it had to be taken a step further because we as a company, we have no control over whether you can come into the stadium. I can't, just because of
Right.
Thurman Thomas, I can't say, yeah, go on in, let's do this or whatever. You got to go through the owners, you got to go through the leagues, you got to go through legends, you got to go through all these type of people. And they say, hey, we'll donate to the community of Buffalo with some programs on trade and skills and all this type of stuff. And I think that was probably the moment that was like, yeah, y'all can do that. Yeah, let's do that because we need that. We know we need those type of people, men and women, to get involved with the trades because I, as much as I hate to say it, there's a lot of 50-year-olds that are still in the trades, and we
Right.
need to reach and get to the 20-year-olds. Like you don't have to go to college. You can go to a trade school and learn this, and you can start a successful business. Why not have a couple of blocks of your friend being an electrician, your other friend being a plumber, your other friend being an HVAC? You guys can come together and you can all sell a lot of things, problems that are spreading across the country because there are no trades.
I think that's really wise and really well said, especially, you mentioned 20-year-olds, the next generation, for lack of a different term. There's a brand new stadium that's about to open. This stadium in 10 years, 15 years, going to need maintenance, going to need,
Right.
new plumbing systems, going to need new whatevers. I mean, like it's smart to get in now. You talked
Yeah.
about it. There's $300,000 investment. So this is super awesome it's very Buffalo for
Right.
lack of a better word. And in that respect, I would not be doing my full job if I didn't ask you a Cowboys question, Thurman, because
Yeah.
the Cowboys are the full opposite of that, right? Like we're talking about like getting our hands dirty and like, blue collar work and lunch pails thing. And the Cowboys, the day we're talking, released a Netflix documentary, unfortunately, about their run of the 90s. I feel bad saying that to you. But you clearly follow the NFL, follow the world of sports.
Yeah.
I'm just curious what it's like for someone like you who's lived the life you have to look at them and how they seem to prioritize that. They seem to prioritize the brand of it all, whereas somebody like the
Yeah.
Bills is just
Yeah.
focused on the hard work. Is that your
Yeah.
perception? I mean,
Yeah.
what do you feel like as Thurman Thomas watching all this from afar?
It's exactly what you said, man. It's the brand. It's Jerry Jones and the brand of the Dallas Cowboys. I mean, you would not think that 1995 would have been their last Super Bowl, right? I
That's
mean,
correct.
they're America's team, right? They're always supposed to be good, and they've been good, but it's been the brand that's been good. It hasn't been like there hasn't been another Emmett Smith. There hasn't been another Mike Irvin. Now you got CD Lamb, but yeah, but there's been Tony Romo. Now you got Dak Prescott, but it's still like the brand. When I look at like the stadium, like they're they're walking in the stadium and you got fans like really close to you. I mean,
Oh, it's a
it,
nightclub. Yeah.
it,
Yeah.
oh, you said it's a nightclub.
Yeah.
It is the brand, and hey, look, I like I said, I keep up with what's going on here, which is all blue collar, lunch pail, 40,000 a year, but I'm trying to make 4 games, so
Right.
that's here, I got my Bill stuff that I still wear from 1975, and people look at it and go, oh my God, that's gorgeous, and yeah, it's the brand, but it's like, hey, we're in this together. Like, yeah, I appreciate you coming to the game. It's snowing. It's 20 degrees below zero. Yeah, I get it. I get it. Now we won't get that in the new stadium, but you're still going to have those type of people still here coming to football games, and that's what I love about it.
You're going to have those people all the time in Buffalo. That's why non-Bills fans love the Bills. 34 Group ensures that mantra disposition still exists. Carhartt, obviously, the new
Yeah,
stadium. It is very, very, very cool what y'all are doing, Thurman. Last one to walk you out of here. I know you're from Houston. I know all about your career. I don't
yeah.
know if you're a Houston Astros fan. I am, so I want to make sure we can end on a good note if that's the case.
I am a Houston Astro fan. Oh
My
yeah.
man.
Oh yeah. I've been. Yeah. I'm more of a Houston Astro fan than I am way back a Houston Oilers fan. And even though my idol was Earl Campbell, I
Right.
grew up. I grew up on the Houston Astros. I mean James Rodney Richard, rest in peace. Joe Sambito. I mean, I'm going Enos Cabello. I'm going way back. Jose Cruz. Yeah. So yeah, but I've been watching the Astros, and yeah, and being an Astro fan, I always get pointed out you guys cheated or whatever. Well, the Patriots cheated too, and look where it got them. So I'm right there with you. I wear my Astro stuff all over the place.
I love being an Astros fan, but I love it even more because I have it in common with Thurman Thomas. Mr. Thomas, I wish you health, wealth, and happiness across the rest of this year. I saw the picture in Croatia. Walk around like that all the time. I mean, feel confident. You were looking good. And maybe wear that kind of stuff on the golf course next time and save those extra 4.5 minutes on your life. I really appreciate the time and keep doing what you're doing with 34 Group and go Bills.
All right, man. Thank you a lot. Go Bills.
Thank you, Mr.